ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले प्रभुपाद प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामिने सुभद्राधरास बिहारी विमूर्तिने शाक्यनारायण। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणं। Hare Krishna. So all these beautiful prayers are actually composed by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. When we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, he has written these prayers. So beautiful. So we are reading Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, Text 27-28. So it's becoming easier, is it, to understand these prayers now? We studied so much in depth. The previous prayers now it's like fatafat. We're understanding. So I'll just ask you to read the translation and then I will go. Paragama very big purport. No? Manishinottaridisaniveshitam स्वशक्तिभिर्नवभिश्च त्रिवृद्भिः वह्निं यथा दारुणि पञ्चदस्यं मनीषया निष्कर्षन्ति गुद्धं स वै ममेशेषविशेषमाया निषेधनिर्वाणसुखानुभूतिः स सर्वनामा स च विश्वरूपः प्रसीदताम् अनिरुक्तात्मशक्तिः. You can read too.
Hare Krishna, translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Just as great learned Brahmanas who are expert in performing ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifice can extract the fire dormant within wooden fuel by chanting the 15 Samidheni mantras, thus proving the efficacy of the Vedic months. So, those who are actually advanced in consciousness, in other words, those who are Krishna conscious, can find the super soul who, by his own spiritual potency, is situated within the heart. The heart is covered by three modes of material nature and the nine material elements: material nature, the total material energy, the ego, the mind, and the five objects of sense gratification, and also by the five elements and the 10 senses. These 27 elements constitute the external energy of the Lord. Great yogis meditate upon the Lord who is situated as Super Soul, Paramatma, within the core of the heart. May that Super Soul be pleased with me. A Super Soul is realized when one is eager for liberation from the unlimited varieties of material life. One actually attains such liberation when he engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord and realizes the Lord because of his attitude of service. The Lord may be addressed by various spiritual names which are inconceivable to the material senses. When will that Supreme Personality of Godhead be pleased with me? Purport.
It's very long, very elaborate. I must say I spent one entire hour only on that purport. So I can just do it fast. Huh? Yeah, so this is very technical. Huh? Extremely technical. But remember that the topic here, the theme of this Hamsa Guhya prayer, that the Supreme Lord is not visible. And it's very difficult to understand the Supreme Lord. Then how can we know Him? Who can know Him? Among so, what's as we said last week? What the use of searching after someone or something that cannot be known? Why waste our time, right? So here is saying how we can find the Supreme Lord. So in his commentary to this verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses the word Durvigeyam. Remember? Sugeyam meaning easily known, and then Durvigeyam. So very difficult to realize. So now, who are those who can perceive the Supreme Lord? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving this. And the amazing, anyway, we'll go step by step. So first, the first qualification, Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva muha nirmukta bhajante mam drita vrataha. So first point here is that unless we are drida vrata, we are fixed and determined in our bhajan, we cannot find the Supreme Lord. People just come, touch, go, right? They can't understand, they can't find. So a whole process is given in this purport. Then, who are those who will be fixed in their vow, who will engage in devotional service with great determination? Dridda means a great vow. Drid, unbreakable, vrata. Those who have acted piously in their previous lives and in this lives, and who are free from this duality of mind. Should I surrender? Should I not surrender? Should I take or not? Let me check it out. I'll see later. I'll decide. Maybe next life I'll do it. Right? All this stuff goes on in your head. Right? So, Who are those who are able to do fixed, determined devotional service? Mean those who have acted piously in the previous lives and who are acting piously now. So their sinful actions are completely eradicated, meaning no more. They will never again do sinful activities. Even if temptation comes, they will let it pass. They won't act sinfully. So I can put on the fan, it's getting too stuffy. Then elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita 9.14, the Lord says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhrita vrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. So again, so what do they do? What do we do, right? If we are engaged in devotional study, then what is the activity? Always chanting my glories. So, kirtan, satatam kirtayantu mam. Always chanting my glories and having a great detail, bowing before me. So three things they are doing. They are chanting the holy name. They are bowing down before the Supreme Lord, and they are engaged in worship. So again, you see how many devotees, they bring deities at home, right? Great enthusiasm, just like chanting also. We say we pick up the mala, so somebody told me, chanted 64 rounds, and working but still chanting 64 rounds. Then I say, please maintain, right? Similarly with the deity worship, we see everybody has deities, or it's tradition to have deities. So we start the deity worship, but we are not able to maintain. Why? Because this desire for sense gratification disturbs, right? We find other things more interesting to do than the deity worship or the chanting, right? So the previous verse is explaining 7.28. So these are practical, like you say, like a reference point, a roadmap. Like if you want to go to a certain goal, right? You need to know the roadmap, and you should know that your point of references. So why am I not able to do, right? So it's given here. And as we read through, we'll see Prabhupada is speaking about how we are going to have darshan of that Supreme Lord who's invisible. How are we going to understand him? So meaning that determination is required. But if we are addicted to sense gratification, doing sinful activities, previous life we've done, okay, live previous, at least this life we should not do, right? So then our practice is proper. Now Krishna Prabhupada explains. This is from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. One can understand the Supreme Person Godhead after transcending all material impediments. So these material impediments is enumerated in the verse. We'll go back there in a minute. So unless those material impediments are removed, we cannot understand the Supreme Lord. So Krishna therefore says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatataamapi siddhanam kaschin maham veti tatvataha. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So many come, as we say, you can see the temples are full of people, right? By the thousands. By the thousands. Now you have to make sure that you stay, right? The thousands are coming, but you have to make sure you are staying, right? You are visible in front of Rararas Bihari. All right? Because if you forget Rararas Bihari, how will you find him? Right? Connection has to develop. He has to see us regularly. whether it's picture in our homes, right, or here in the temple, whatever form, Krishna has expanded himself in his pictures. So, of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. So they become very enthusiastic. Yes, yes, I will do. And then the balloon is burst. Huh? So hardly one knows me in truth. Now, see Prabhupada what he explained. To understand Krishna, the person Godhead, one must undergo severe penances and austerities. What was this? I think we read before, right? What the Prachetas did. They left home, they went in the water, 10,000 years they stayed in the water. I don't think they ate anything, right? They must have drank water. Anyway, I don't know what they did. But you get the idea. They had to walk from their home to this lake, right? So it was severe austerity. And then, not that you're going to look for your chadar or your blanket, right? Or your socks, right? Or you're going to look for a fan when it's too hot. Because the method that is that we need to understand we are not the body. We are too much attached, too much cushy, like now in Vrindavan, everybody wants AC, right? It's either you learn how to live. I remember this girl, Parvati Mataji's daughters. See, how are you living there? Because they were here in Bombay. They were living here in Bombay and their mother, everybody moved to Vrindavan. So I said, how are you living in Vrindavan? Because we all run away, Hey, Mataji is very nice. It's very nice. They adapted. So they just told me during the day you don't go out, in the afternoon you go out. Right? They were younger, they grew up, and one of them got married in Vrindavan itself. So they knew what to do, they knew what to eat, right? When to stay inside, when to go out. It's very nice, right? So for us, going to Vrindavan is severe penance and austerity. When the fog comes, oh my God, it's just sit right in the chest. So, to understand Krishna, the Supreme Person Godhead, one must undergo severe penances and austerities. But, since the path of devotional service is perfect, by following this process, one can very easily come to the spiritual platform and understand the law. So now, if we follow the path of Bhakti Yoga, then very easily we'll come to the spiritual platform. And then we can understand the law. Now, what is this? Just read it. Satatam kirtayantu mam yatantascha dhrida vrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya. So, satatam kirtayantu mam. And what should we do? Namasya, namaste. And nitya yukta upasate. 3 things only. Kirtan, namaskar, and the worship. So Krishna says in 18.55, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasyasmi tadvataha tato mam tadvataho gyatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Person of Godhead as He is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So now what would be the result of having darshan of the Lord? What would be the result? We enter the kingdom of God, right? Meaning after we leave this body. See, the reason why when there is a death, right? The person is just paraded in the road, right? Just paraded in the road and go to the cemetery to remind everybody that one day you'll be there, right? That was the reason. So that it breaks our attachment to this material world. What are you doing You're working so hard, or you're trying to enjoy life, but do you know it's going to come an end? You're going to lie on this cot. I don't know what you call it. Hmm? What you call this? That where you put this the dead body, the corpse. They make like this plank, right? With bamboo, na? With bamboo they make, and they put you on it. Not you, your body, right? And then they have to tie you up. I read in this Samskar book how they do it. So they have to tie up the body like an animal, right? Hmm? Have to tie it up. Such a shame. This body about which we are so proud, right? Such a shame. You put that body, you have to tie it up, right? In case it falls off, right? And 4 people have to carry you. Hmm? Nobody even, sitting in those wheelchairs when you're traveling. We don't like to sit in wheelchairs, right? Now just imagine 4 people. 4 people will carry you. Okay. And actually, you are carrying your body right now, right? You one person, you're carrying your own body, right? When you leave that body, this body becomes very heavy, very good, and easily we are carrying our bodies, right? But when you leave the body becomes very heavy. 4 people have to lift you. Even an old, fragile grandma, 4 people have to carry. So this truth is there, that we are parading. So we are parading this body to say, what is your destination? That's the idea. What is your destination? So therefore, worship the Supreme Lord with great determination, because when the body is burnt, you can go back home, back to Godhead. So I read, all these things about how when you die, then become prate. We read before also, right? Third canto or somewhere. You become prate. Prate meaning that is subtle body. And you're roaming around. And then you come back to your own home. And then you go on roaming around until you take birth in the same home, right? This is what's happening. But devotees, within 3 days they go. Within 3 days they go. They don't stay. Their journey is very fast because they have no attachment. So what happened to them? One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is only by devotional service. Very simple, very simple. Make sure we are chanting our 16 rounds, that we are doing namaskar. I see all our Guru Maharajas, right? They are so eager, so determined to offer that namaskar. But this is bhakti namaskar. They are not able to do this. Still, they want to do it. It's a namaskar. Then, Nitya Yukta Upasate. They are worshipping the deities. I remember Gopal Krishna Maharaj until last moment. The last moment, he's still doing the deity worship. Right? He was very attached to deity worship. He had his own deities, and then Radha Rasbihari, or wherever he would go. I remember one of his disciples was telling us, it's quite silly what that disciple told his Guru Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Actually, quite silly, so we should learn from this. So I think it was Aarti going to start, and everything is on time, So this foolish disciple, sorry I'm saying it, he told Gopal Krishna Maharaj, you just wait a little bit. The devotees are going to come now. Actually, usually people come for this noon aarti. So he told Maharaj, if you can just little bit, so people are going to come now, then you can do the aarti. I mean, just imagine, this is his Guru Maharaj, okay? His Guru. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj told him, I'm worshipping Radha Golokananda. I'm not doing an audience. Alright? You follow? I'm not doing this arti for an audience. And we foolish pujaris, we are thinking, I am the star, I'm doing the arti, and the audience is watching me. Huh? It's too much. Okay, just switch it up. Yeah, we can't put it lower. Why I'm speaking of this, I mean, I was so shocked to just hear that story from that devotee, so shocked. How is it that we are thinking I'm doing this Nitya Yukta Upasate? How is it that I'm doing the worship and I'm thinking that I am the, focus of the audience? Like these days, I'll tell you one more thing. Zoom, okay? Zoom classes. My biggest shock was when, welcome Guru Maharaj to our show. Right? See, what show? That's why these Zoom classes become very risky, because when you are having personal classes, you are sitting at the lotus feet of Guru, right? You are doing namaskar, isn't it? You are doing namaskar, and you are eager, you are waiting. Not a show is on, so Guru Maharaj has to put on the show, right? And entertain the disciple. And when the whole thing is, thank you Maharaj, thank you Guru Maharaj for being with us. Oh my God. It's a stage show. You just go back and listen to the classes or be aware, this poor Guru Maharaj, they lost everything. Right? You just listen. And I was laughing and I was messaging, what nonsense. But then gradually I gave up. It became the norm. Because everything, you just open the news. Today on our show is this one. Today on our show, and what is it? War is going on. All right? War is going on, and they're welcoming somebody to tell us news of the war. Or inundation is going somewhere. All calamities are going on somewhere. And you are inviting somebody to talk about it, right? And welcome to our show. So meaning, the world is only stage show. They're looking at the world as if they're looking at a big drama and they're not part of it, which in a sense is true. But it's true, we are only witness of what's going on in the world. We are not really part of it. But it is dreaming awake, we read earlier, dreaming awake and dreaming at night, and you are living nowhere. Right? Dreaming, meaning that you cannot wake up from a dream in which you don't want to be awakened. So you'll spend your whole life in the stage show, right? So even with Guru Maharaj, who has come, Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya, right? Going to open the eyes with this ointment. He's going to put an ointment, and he's using a specific instrument to put in the ointment. You think it's a show? So, when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord, by such devotion, so if we will do unconscious telecasts, all right, or even worse, the video. See, all of us, we have attended classes, etc., and then we go and because like all Guru Maharajas, they would record their classes. They were not videos, all right? The audios, like VIHE, all their classes are on audio. And we keep on listening. Now what do we want? We want the video, right? We want the video. Why the video? So that we can pretend we were there. Audio means your ear has to open. Otherwise, you can't follow. Shravanam. Process of devotional services. Shravanam. Where is it? Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always chanting my glories. Chanting means you are hearing. Anyway, it's going to come. Prabhupada is going to explain this. So here, when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, full conscious, so I'm just giving the impediments that has come in the lives of devotees, right? When we don't want to do this little tapasya of traveling to attend a Bhagavatam class, right? No severe austerity, only the traffic jam of Bombay, right? That's all. So, no pain, no gain. My Guru Maharaj has one lecture, no pain, no gain. I don't know from where he was reading. So, and when one is full conscious, I'm just focusing on that one point, full consciousness. So, if we will do things absent-mindedly, or if we are going to do things as if I'm watching a show, all right, and I'm not there, I remember, just now I saw one, it was a Facebook video, all right? My Guru Maharaj was in Kanpur, just saw. And so after he has recited the kirtan, then he recited prayers. Half the devotees who were in the room, in the temple hall, they didn't offer obeisances. You just watch the temple now. You come in Radha Rajvihari temple. You will see more than half maybe are not offering obeisances. You know what they do? This head, okay, must, yes, namaste. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya, surrender, denya, right? That's why they do yoga exercises, right? To make you put your head on the ground. I remember I had that yoga teacher, So she came, she was telling me do this, and then she said, but for you this is very easy. What was the easy posture? Put my head, I have to do forward, bending or whatever it was. Not bending, but this whole body. Then I look at him and look at her. He told me most people are not able to do it. So our bhakti yogis, Hare Krishna bhakti yogis, you just go and watch that video. Half of these boys didn't put their head down on the floor. I don't know, kamar dukta. What's the problem? For us in this old age, do you know how difficult it is to offer obeisances? Right? You don't know when a cramp will catch. If you just put your feet like this. So, consciousness of Krishna is not happening. If we manage to come in full consciousness, what will happen? will enter the kingdom of God. This is the promise here. Krishna's words. Thus, although the subject matter is durvigyeyam, extremely difficult to understand, it becomes easy if one follows the prescribed method. Now, have you understood how easy it is? You just have to put your head down on the ground. We are not able to do it. So, therefore, even though the process is easy, the desire is not coming, or laziness, or maybe simple ignorance. Right? Simple ignorance not pointed out to our devotees, and these are temple devotees, not pointed out. Every day the devotees are coming for Mangalarti. You watch how many are putting their heads down. I don't know how that happened. Coming in touch. So prescribed method. So Prabhupada is saying very, very nicely, although the subject matter is durvigyeyam, extremely difficult to understand, it becomes easy when, if we follow the prescribed method. So it's a prescribed method. This is not, just coming in and, I was told bow down, so I bow down. After 10 years, I say, okay, it's okay. No need to bow down. This is sufficient, or half, or whatever we are doing. Or, just Zoom relationship, not running to see Guru Maharaj, right? Or coming weekly at least in the satsanga, thinking, everything is available from a distance. Why should I come? See, we want to come in touch with the Supreme Person God, and chanting enters the core of the heart. Why is it that you find people who come in who are serious, within 3 years you find change in them? Because hearing, all right, this Shravanam Kirtanam. I mean, for me, it's such a pleasure for me to see the devotees, whoever is around us, to see how they're progressing, how they are. And it's a marvel to see people change. So what is it that's producing this marvelous change? It is the process of hearing and chanting. How? When you are following the prescribed method, then what happens? It enters the core. It sinks in. Right? It sinks in. So Bhakti, Prabhupada says, is practiced in groups. So it enters the core of the heart, and in this way one becomes a pure devotee. Next, by continuing this process, one comes to the stage of transcendental love. And then, so unless there is prema, we can't appreciate the transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. We are bored. Same katha, every day same katha, right? What's so great about Krishna? Should I waste my time? Let me watch some Netflix, something called Netflix, right? Or let me go roaming around, touring. I just heard somebody said that they're speaking about, pilgrimage. Maybe I said that before, Tirtha Yatra. Name has changed to spiritual tourism. That's why all holy places has become tourists. In other words, a pure devotee by devotional service is able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead despite many material impediments. This verse is so crucial. Despite many material impediments, which are all various energies of the Supreme Person of Godhead. So we have entered this body, which is Prakriti. So the impediments means my own body. We have entered in the gross body, the subtle body, man, buddhi, ahankar, everything, right? These are impediments to the soul, right? So, what is separating us, the Jeev, the living being? Separating us from Krishna, it is our body, right? It's an impediment. The body is an impediment. The gross body and the subtle body is the impediment. But here, Prabhupada is pointing out that these impediments, actually they are the energies, the various energies of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, if we use this body, we bow down. We are overcoming the impediment of the body. If we use this tongue to chant Krishna's name, we are overcoming the impediment of having a material tongue. Follow? This is what Prabhupada is explaining here. Easily making his way through these impediments, simply bow down. You know, this one Bollywood singer, Hollywood singer, bow down, Mr. What's his name? His Boy George? Boy George? George? No. This other one. Bow down, Mr. Okay, so he went from one temple to the next. Everywhere he found, people are bowing down. So Hare Krishna devotees means bow down. And those who are not bowing down, he's saying, bow down, Mr. His song is from, I don't know, this Rome to here, there, everywhere. Hare Krishna people bow down. Why we've lost our culture? Not culture, basic practice, devotional practice. George? Boy George, right? Boy George, yeah. Easily making his way through these impediments, a devotee comes directly in contact with the Supreme Person Godhead. After all, the material impediments described in these verses are but various energies of the Lord. When a devotee is eager to see the Supreme Person Godhead, he prays to the Lord. This is the most beautiful prayer. Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budho Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. I think this is the most beautiful purport, right? So now, prayer, when we are bowing down, right? Prayer is coming out. I have, O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I'm your eternal servant. Yet somehow or other have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Being pleased with the devotee, the Lord turns all his material impediments into spiritual service. The body, which is an impediment, when you use it in Krishna's service, right? When we bow down, it's not an exercise. All right? It's not an exercise. It is becoming a spiritual service. Krishna transformed it into spiritual service. In this connection, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes a verse from the Vishnu Puran. Hladini sandhini samvit dvayeka sarva samstitaho hlada tapa kari mishra dvaino guna varchite. I feel very ashamed that I have been reading Prabhupada's books since years and years and years, and I've been sitting or hearing Bhagavatam classes. Still, I never read this purport. I feel very ashamed. Especially this verse here. In the material world, the spiritual energy of the Supreme Person of Godhead is manifested as tapakari, which means causing miseries. Spiritual energy, all right, when it manifests in the material world, it has become the source of misery. Tapakari. Everyone hankers for happiness, but all the happiness originally comes from the pleasure potency of the Supreme Person Godhead. This is from Vishnu Puran, Hladini Sandhi Samvit. It's coming from they are the spiritual energy of the Lord. But when they come in this material world, what happens? In this material world, why? Oh my God! Is it by mystery? By chance that these Hladini, Sandhini, Samvit, which are spiritual energy, they become sources of distress? Here, the verse is explaining why. Because of material activities. All right? Because of material activities. So that's why if the devotees, they engage in spiritual activities, there's no misery. They don't experience misery, right? Chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita and maybe chapter 5 also explain that yogi, right, who's engaged, sthita pragya, right, who's engaged, who's here. It's not that the cyclone is not coming, it's not that heat is not coming, drought is not coming, no. But sthita pragya, he's not affected. He's not affected by the surroundings. I read it again. Everyone hankers for happiness, but although happiness originally comes from the pleasure potency of the Supreme Person Godhead, in the material world, because of material activities, the pleasure potency of the Lord becomes a source of miseries. Halada tapakari. Right? What a discovery! What a discovery! False happiness in the material world is the source of distress. Why we are suffering? Why we you don't have your book. Why you are suffering? False happiness, specific. Prabhupada is being very specific. What is the source of distress in this material world? It is false happiness. Right? False happiness. Let's say I have my kulfi, right? I have my kulfi. It's an ice cream, right? It's a kulfi. It's nice, better than ice cream, right? Kulfi is made, original kulfi, okay? That, now all, I don't know what they put in kulfi, make it stay for how many days. Original kulfi is full of nutrients, right? How do you make kulfi? Boiled, and then you put so many other ingredients, right? Right? And then you make it cold, right? One kulfi is okay. The second one is okay. Why do we take so much trouble to freeze down, right? Our boiled milk, right? Isn't that sufficiently happy to have your boiled milk with the badam and all stuff? No, you want to feel a sensation of coldness, right? False happiness. This poor child, he has that kulfi and then dripping nose, and mother is suffering because of the dripping nose, right? I'm saying pleasure, okay? So, false happiness in the material world is the source of distress. But when one's endeavors for happiness are redirected toward the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, this tapakari element of misery is vanquished. So my nice kulfi, so it's good, it's frozen, but I have to offer to Krishna, right? So you have to wait, right? I'm just explaining simple example. How you can remove the misery, right? Meaning when you offer to Krishna, your kulfi has to warm up. Right, for you to have the prasadam. Therefore, there's no misery. You can enjoy your nice warm kulfi, but Krishna had the cold kulfi. I don't know how that example came. Maybe I was thinking of kulfi. Now, an example is given in this connection in that verse. Extracting fire from wood is certainly difficult. You know, here you bring wood. So we spoke previously that the source of fire used to be wood, right? Only one source of fire, it was wood, which was traditional everywhere. And for the yagya, you will only sit and look at that wood and will it ignite? Right? No. So here is given, you have to bring out the fire through mantras. Now, because I think in Radha Raman temple, right, they have that firewood, which is from centuries, hasn't died. It's just been fed again and again, right, from tradition. That firewood is ignited from 15 syllable, 15 what it says, and 15, oops, where is it? 15 Samidheni mantras. So they chant. I saw a video actually one time. They were showing how this Brahman, they were igniting the fire with mantra. It's very simple, just like this electricity. For us, we just put on the switch, but when it doesn't light, you have to call the electrician, right? He knows how to fix it. So similarly, those Brahmana, they know the technology by which they will light the fire, right? So here example is given. Extracting fire from wood is certainly difficult, but when the fire comes out, it burns the wood to ashes. In other words, experiencing the Supreme Person Godhead is extremely difficult for those devoid of devotional service. So those who say, show me God, where's your God? I've been practicing for so many years, I'm not seeing God. Here the answer is given. If actually you are devoid of bhakti, but everything becomes easier for devotee, and thus you can very easily meet the Supreme Lord. Right? Here the prayers say that the form of the Lord is beyond the jurisdiction of material form and is therefore inconceivable. So this deity in your own home or in the temple, this form actually is inconceivable. Why? Because even though the form appears matter, actually the form is not matter, and therefore it is achintya. A devotee prays, however, my dear Lord, be pleased with me so that I may very easily see your transcendental form and potency. Non-devotees try to understand the Supreme Brahman by discussion of neti, nishedha nirvana sukhanubhutihi. A devotee, however, simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, avoids such laborious speculation and realizes the existence of the Lord very easily. So, here you are, we go on reading books, accumulating books. Now on internet, anything, one click, millions of information comes, so many books you're reading at one time, right? Everything, whatever you want, right? And then they'll say, disclaimer, we are not sure whether it's correct or not, right? But anyway, these were more intelligent people. They were actually running through all the Shastras, and they would say, no, God is not there, it's not this, where? Neti. So much laborious speculations, and they come to no conclusion. The next verses will describe all this. But the devotees, simply by accepting that this deity form is a manifestation of the Supreme Lord, and this form is inconceivable to me, but if I will just do namaskar, all right? I hope from now onward, everybody after hearing this class will make sure to do namaskar. and we'll chant the name of Krishna, right? So simply by this, my dear Lord, and praying, all right. I mean, wishing, expressing, Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram, Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budho. My body is an impediment. I'm not able to see you. Remove that impediment and make me have vision of you. Right? It's amazing lecture, this purport that Prabhupada has written. Hmm? All right. So that was in less than 1 hour. So I think we've got sufficient for today, right? Oh, yeah. I spent 1 hour reading this. And I said, oh my God. I couldn't move on to the next. But the rest will become easier now after we have, examined this one verse. And even the previous uh, text also was very important. The whole week I was just thinking of that one. Text 26, when one's consciousness is completely purified of the contamination material existence grows and settles, without being agitated as in the working and dreaming state, and when the mind is not dissolved as in susupti, deep sleep, we spoke of death, one comes to the platform of trance. Then one's material vision and the memories of the mind which manifest names and forms are vanquished. Only in such a trance is the Supreme Person Godhead revealed. Meaning when we give up all our connection with this material world, the world of names and forms, thus let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Person Godhead, who is seen in that uncontaminated transcendental state. Who's reciting these prayers? Hmm? Who is reciting this Hamsa Guhya prayer? Who's reciting this prayer? Daksha. Daksha, Prajapati Daksha. He is reciting these prayers. Yeah, but he didn't read Prabhupada's purport, okay? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, right? You understand? Our great fortune, right? So sometimes I know devotees who don't want to read the purport. It's amazing. Sometimes they come and ask, they just want the Srimad Bhagavatam, only the verses, no purport. So you understand? But yes, yeah, correct. He's just reciting, everywhere in India, they just go on reciting Bhagavad Gita without purport. Right? And then pick up chapter 15. I don't know for what reason. Maybe because the shortest, or Urdham Moolam, right? They like this. But what's the purport? If they would understand the purport, they will read from chapter 1, right? They're stuck in this material world, firmly rooted like a banyan tree in this material world. But the real banyan tree is in the spiritual world. And we are here stuck. Can you imagine you are like a banyan tree? We are a banyan tree. This is what Krishna is telling Arjun. Banyan tree that doesn't die, right? Yeah.
So that we understand, we have it spiritually inside.
Yeah, the banyan tree is having its root up and its head down, right? Meaning it is grabbing illusion very firmly. very firmly. What is the force with which this Jeev is grabbing that illusion? Therefore, mercy of Guru to wake up this poor sleeping soul, Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, because only when the Jeev will wake up, then he will let go. Right? You have to let go by yourself. Krishna, Guru cannot do anything. By yourself, you have to let go. So, anyway, let's read next week. We'll read another verse. Hare Krishna. Om Shakalpataregascha Kripasingarecha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.